We're having this Istagosthi discussion, and we have a WhatsApp group called League for 10K, and an Istagosthi group where devotees can join, ask questions, share their realizations, share what's bothering them in the in the institution, and how to make the institution great again. Trump had
You
a
speak
sign,
from
make
spiritual realization.
yes, make America great again, make ISKCON great again.
Yeah.
From spiritual realization. So we have our meetings on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So you are very welcome to participate. Just click on the link on the bottom. We in the description. You'll join our WhatsApp group, and then the link is posted in our WhatsApp group. So today we're discussing about the discussion we're having in the League for 10K with the devotees. So let's get things going. All right. So here is our discussion page, and Bhakta Andrew Ananda Prabhu in Texas, we were discussing about Krishna, Mahant Sri Krishna Balaram Swami Maharaj. So, if you want to come to a sound conclusion, you must hear from His Divine Grace, Maha Mandaleshwara Mahant Sri Krishna Balaram Swami Maharaj directly. Only then can you actually determine whether the platform of Bhagavad Dharma Samaj isn't or is a bona fide, period. Okay. Now we have a picture of Mahaprabhu in his tilak. And then the discussion continues. Shreya Prabhu posted some videos. And
Who
then
did?
Shreya Prabhu.
Really? What sort of videos did she post?
I don't know.
Okay, well
We'll look at the discussion, yes. Shreya Prabhu was saying, please go through all the videos I've shared, Hare Krishna. And then Matthew Medford Prabhu was saying, how well do you feel that Maha Mandaleshwara Mahan Krishna Balaram Swami has imbibed Srila Prabhupada's message in these videos?
Which videos?
The ones that Shreya Prabhu shared.
Shreya?
Yes.
She shared
Prabhupada videos.
Krishna
Yeah.
Balaram's.
No, not Krishna Balaram, Prabhupada's videos.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so then.
So he's not talking about Krishna Balaram, he's talking about Prabhupada?
Yes, she's talking about Prabhupada.
Oh, this is Shreya herself. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shreya.
great.
Okay. Then Shreya says, please share his videos. I have never seen this Swamiji you're talking about. And in addition, I'm saying I'm happy with Srila Prabhupada being my spiritual master. So I really would not need anyone else. Hare Krishna. That's Shreya Prabhu. Then Matthew Medford Prabhu says, I'm going to share some dreams I had. But first, I will quote Krishna Das Kaviraj from Chaitanya Chaitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 5, verse 155-160, to set the mood, as reading this portion of Chaitanya Chaitamrita is what first inspired me to share this. Okay. He says, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who by his various plenary portion appeared in this world in different forms and incarnations, such as Lord Rama, but who personally appears in his supreme original form as Lord Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is the same Lord Krishna, and Lord Nityananda is Lord Balaram. Lord Nityananda fulfills all of Lord Chaitanya's desires. The ocean of Lord Nityananda's glories is infinite and unfathomable.
Unfathomable. You can't reach the bottom of it.
Jai. Only by His mercy can I touch even a drop of it. Please listen to another glory of His mercy. He made a fallen living entity climb to the highest limit. To disclose it is not proper, for it should be kept confidential as the Vedas. Yet I shall speak of it to make His mercy known to all. Lord Nityananda, I write of your mercy out of great exhalation.
Exaltation.
Exaltation. Please
He's
forgive
exalted
Ah.
for a very high emotion.
Please forgive me for my offenses. Please understand that these texts are better invocation, then I can feel muster, that I muster. So I apologize if what I share is not glorious, as what Krishna Das Kaviraj wrote.
So
Okay.
what did Krishnadas Kaviraj write?
Right
What
here.
he just
He wrote
read.
that passage before?
Yeah. It's Chaitanya Charitamrita.
It doesn't sound at all like anything Krishna Kaviraj Swami was known to say. Anyhow, go ahead.
Okay. So Matthew Prabhu is sharing his dream about Srila Prabhupada here. Okay. One night, I found it difficult to focus on Krishna as I was lying in bed, so I remembered that we are supposed to worship Guru rather than try to serve Krishna directly from a fallen conditioned state. As I lay thinking, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, I found myself to be located at the foot of some raised furniture. I saw a pig like creature hunched over eating on the Vyasa. In that moment, I remembered a guided meditation that I had watched on Steve Noble's YouTube channel, in which I assigned my personal set of sword and armor that would be waiting for me in the care of angels. As I saw Srila Prabhupada was being eaten by this beast, I summoned that set and slew it with a stab and threw it off Srila Prabhupada. I then unsummoned the gifted garb and began healing Srila Prabhupada and holding him. In that dream state, I carried Srila Prabhupada to Hare Krishna Dham ISKCON of Houston, where other people began healing Srila Prabhupada also. Srila Prabhupada told me, "It's okay, my boy." So I guess, I'm not guessing, but this is his dream. So let me read more from his dream. I had not received Brahman thread other than when earlier in this life before anyone described Brahmana. I think it means Brahman.
Brahman.
Yes, Brahman initiation.
Brahman.
Yeah, he wrote Brahman initiation to me. I found a thread in the side of the street by the temple and put it on, as I have seen in the dioramas around the temple. The devotees of the temple told me that the sacred thread should be given by a spiritual master, so I threw it away. I've heard some Gayatri mantras, but my understanding of the correct way of hearing Gayatri mantra is by one spiritual master whispering it into one's ear and repeated back in whisper of confirmation of correct pronunciation. Do you seriously recommend that I continue to seek out Srila Prabhupada for Diksha initiation? How will he whisper in my ear? When the role of a Ritvik is one of a medium to the spiritual master, that is established for the convenience of the spiritual master while he is having his manifest pastimes. I have considered myself Christian for all that I can remember in this lifetime, even as I strive to take initiation from Krishna Balaram Swamiji. Srila Prabhupada has helped me to understand that Christ is a translation from Krishna and that there is an unbroken parampara as well as innumerable other lessons that have been freely offered in his books and by his disciples and maybe mm, legitimate other than Krishna
Illegitimate.
illegitimate maybe illegitimate other than Krishna Balaram Swami's disciples, grand disciples. Okay, what does else he say? Srila Prabhupada lives on, and if we think he is dead, then we ourselves are dead. But I do not believe that Srila Prabhupada would ignore Shastric injunctions by establishing himself as the quote, the only way, unquote, as Jesus would have been mistranslated in the Bible. I have heard that Jesus truly said that the only way to the Father is through the Son, which Srila Prabhupada has established Krishna Balaram Swami as. Uh, I've heard that Jesus truly said that the only way to the Father is through the Son, which Srila Prabhupada has established Krishna Balaram Swami as. All right. So here comes Narayan Prabhu here. Narayan Prabhu, why don't you read your statement here?
So where do I start?
Right here. Can you see?
Okay. It's interesting what he wrote. I mean, obviously he has experience with Vedic teachings in a previous life
Yes.
because he's a very complicated guy, which I didn't get by hearing him talking particularly. But anyhow, I ask, is your goal to go back to Godhead? Or is your goal to take as many births as possible as a disciple of KB Swami? You have already been saved, delivered from material life already by hearing the Hare Krishna mantra at least once in this lifetime. If you want to become an Uttamadhikari more rapidly, then broadcast the Hare Krishna mantra wherever you go and to whomever you meet. What can an earthly guru give you that you not already have? Question mark. Except an ashram in which to live. KB Swami, where are we?
Right here. Sorry, I scrolled down.
Okay. KB Swami extraordinary KB Swami's extraordinary birth does not make him superior to Srila Prabhupada.
Although,
Oh, I can't read it.
it's saying although
Although,
he seems to think that he is. Right here.
although he seems to think that he is. Why else would he reject his own transcendental spiritual master's Gita and replace it with his own? Okay, Matthew says. Go ahead.
Jai Ho, Matthew Prabhu says, I've heard that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said something like, if you study how to be a perfect devotee without practicing Sankirtan, then by the time you are old, you will learn that you should have been distributing Krishna Prema to as many souls as possible that whole time. That is why I don't want to keep being like doubting Thomas from the Bible, allegorically doubting even the obvious truth. Doubt is a sign of intelligence, but as I heard, we can fall off the other side of the
Proverbial.
proverbial. What does this mean?
Proverbial means a proverb is a common saying or a key saying that people say. It's also in the Bible, Proverbs.
Referred to as a proverb or idiom, well known especially so as to it being stereotypical. Okay. Referred to as a proverb or idiom. Okay. Got it. All right. So, Narayan Prabhu says, that is my exact point. What do you mean by this? Right here, you're saying. Oh, yes. You're talking about.
Practice Sankirtan in order to deliver the fallen souls.
Yes, exactly. So he agreed on that part. That is my.
But he ignored the whole text that I wrote before that and didn't answer it, just made a statement.
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
Matthew. Yes. Matthew Prabhu says, I don't know why we are switching the subject to earthly gurus. Okay. Narayan Prabhu, your turn. You replied here.
Thank you for recognizing that fact. We are not discussing earthly gurus. We are discussing the source, present availability of the pure sound vibration of Krishna's holy name, already available in its purest possible form all over the world today. KB Swami can serve Srila Prabhupada rather than try to compete with him. does he claim that his utterances of the Mahamantra is purer than the sound of Srila Prabhupada chanting the Mahamantra?
Okay, let me read.
That was a question, which I don't think he answers.
Matthew Matford Prabhu says, all of the acharyas are unparalleled in their own ways. Krishna Balaram Swami is simply the one that is currently manifested for laymen like me to approach for Diksha. I was leading up to the point out that the gopis only not only don't worship anyone but Krishna, they don't even accept the existence of anyone but Krishna. Why would there be competition between Guru and his disciple? If Krishna Balaram were to reject the mantle of Acharya in our Sampradaya, then it would be competition with his order from Srila Prabhupada. You are exempt from all of this as Srila Prabhupada's disciple, but why are you putting a block on the path of others? Then Matthew Prabhu says, Bhagavad Gita as it is has not been rejected. Why does Krishna Balaram Swami claim to be superior to Srila Prabhupada? Okay. Then he says, as far as I can understand, Krishna Balaram Swami made no claim of uttering Maha Mantra purer than Srila Prabhupada. Maybe he meant purer than Srila Prabhupada. Then Narayan Prabhu says, Narayan Prabhu, why don't you read?
Krishna Balaram Swami has replaced Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is with his own translation. That is a clear claim by Krishna Balaram Swami that he is now superior to Srila Prabhupada. What else could it possibly mean?
Okay. Let me continue reading here. Then Andrew Ananda comes in. He's also a follower of Krishna Balaram.
Wait, did I finish everything that I said? If Srila Prabhupada's utterance of Hare Krishna is pure, then why did Krishna Balaram seek to go beyond Srila Prabhupada instead of continuing to act as faithful disciple instead of as replacement of Srila Prabhupada? It does not add up.
Okay.
They never answer the questions I ask.
Well, that's the way it is. That's why we have Istagosthi for them to come on here and discuss. But, apparently, sometimes they don't attend, or maybe they don't want to attend, or whatever. Anyways.
Okay.
Bhakta Andrew Anand in Texas, to compare or view the works of the acharyas in terms of superiority is product of false ego, even possibly envy. See that? Uttama Adhikaris do not think in those terms. Well, this statement is not entirely correct because Srila Prabhupada definitely compared Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's disciplic succession to the Ramanuja disciplic succession. And he said this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sampradaya is the best because it's giving the highest form of worship, that's there in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita, which, he says Chaitanya Chaitamrita scripture is higher than any of the acharyas, whatever they've given. So he's saying here to compare the works of the acharyas.
The thing is, he's missing my point, I guess. To compare or view the works of the acharyas in terms of superiority is a product of false ego, even possibly envy. Okay. What I'm asking is, if Prabhupada's Gita is okay, why write another one?
Right.
I mean, why not just use Prabhupada's Gita?
Haribol, Jai.
When people give a Bhagavad Gita class, they read the verse, they read the purport, then they go off wherever they want in their conversation about it. So, but Krishna Balaram could do that.
Right. That's a very good point. Why even write your own book? Right.
Why replace? If he wants to write a book that Prabhupada didn't write, that's questionable. But if he rewrites a book that Prabhupada wrote, then the question is, what is the motive?
What's the motive, right?
If he is not saying, mine is better.
The reason why Matthew and what is that name of the guy? Andrew Anandaprabhu. What they're saying is he wrote his own version of the Gita because he was not able to get the 1972 version of the Gita. They were not selling it to him. So I find that,
Well, he could have written to me and I would have mailed him one.
yeah, so that is not a valid excuse, at least.
No, it's completely dog ate the homework.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Why did you write your Gita? I couldn't get one that was published by the millions by Macmillan.
Right.
Oh, couldn't you go to Macmillan? Oh, I didn't know how to do that. So I wrote my own. Doesn't make sense.
Okay. Now Narayan Prabhu says, you do not need Diksha to go back to Godhead. All you need is to hear the holy name chanted by Srila Prabhupada. No? Question mark. Then why does Krishna Balaram Swami act in those terms? Then Andrew Ananda Prabhu says that is a misguided perception.
That is really raw. Who the heck is he to say that?
Right. Then
So I respond, accurate, not misguided. If I had direct and confidential association with Srila Prabhupada, I had direct and confidential association with Srila Prabhupada since 1967, and you are so puffed up that you dare to call your senior godbrother misguided? Is that what Krishna Balaram Swami instructs you how to treat your senior godbrother? Your job is to listen and reason, not to lob insults to others. Oops, I lost it. I lost it. Oh my God. Good.
can you see
I
it?
lost the text. I lost the text. Oh, here it is. I think. Nope. Okay.
We're right here. Are you?
Good. Okay. I said your job is to listen and reason, not to lob insults to others.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a new cult follower of a new cult guru, of which there are thousands of sincere seekers of the supreme absolute truth, which is where the League for 10K can help guide you? Your sincerity is now in question. So Matthew says,
Yes. Matthew says, Diksha might not be required to go back to Godhead, but taking it is the example set by the Gaudiya Madhva Vaishnava Sampradaya. And I have not seen any reason not to accept Diksha from a guru that has opted to be sent on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission for the purpose of bringing us into the highest love, which you yourself have taken advantage of.
yeah, but he doesn't really answer the question. Because if there's an already existing Vaishnavacharya named Prabhupada, why take it from somebody else?
That's the
Because
thing.
they want a living guru. That's why.
Okay, are you saying Lord Chaitanya is a dead guru?
That's what they're saying.
I think that's what they mean. They want a pus, blood, stool, and urine guru in front of them who farts. They don't want Lord Chaitanya. Because Lord Chaitanya is represented by the sound, and we've been doing this in League for 10K. The Lord Chaitanya is represented by his sound, and his sound is transmitted to Thakur Bhaktivinoda, Gaur-Krishnadas Babaji, Bhaktisiddhanta, and Prabhupada. Prabhupada took that same sound of Lord Chaitanya and broadcasted it to practically it's everywhere. It's hard to avoid. If you go online, you can ask for it, it's there. So what is it that Krishna Balaram Swami is giving them beyond that they can't get from hearing the recording? That's the point. Okay, anybody want to say anything?
Yes, there's a misconception in the greater ISKCON and other so-called Narayan Maharaj, Sridhar Maharaj camps that one needs a living guru. One needs a actual living person. Like you're saying, blood, pus, and whatever else, and they can't take it directly from
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada.
No, you have to have a guru that has pus, blood, stool, and urine, not sound vibration.
Yeah,
The guru was a material body, in other words.
right. We have discussed this so many times that our philosophy teaches us we're not the body, and
Exactly.
so
Well, that comes up later on in this long conversation. We'll keep going.
okay. Then Matthew Prabhu says, Krishna Balaram Swami has not instructed me in any particular way how to treat a senior god brother. Okay, well then,
Did he teach you how to treat you, Sri Krishna Balaram Swami? Did he teach his disciples how to treat him?
yeah, that's
Should you not treat your senior godbrother the way he wants to be treated by you?
yeah, that's my point. Like, if they have such an exalted position, praises of Krishna Balaram Swami, they should immediately go surrender to him, and instead of getting, I don't know what the motive is, because the league for 10K, we have accepted the fact that
Further down the line, I try with some degree of reasoning, I suppose, to distinguish this.
okay. Let me finish my point. So at the League for 10K, we have already discussed that Srila Prabhupada is the sole Shiksha and Diksha Guru. We have come up with that. We have discussed on that basis. So this Matthew Prabhu and Andrew Ananda Prabhu have not accepted that conclusion. And anyone who's watching this video, if they want to participate in the League for 10K, that is the foundational basis of our movement, that Srila Prabhupada is the Shiksha and Diksha Guru.
And that he has broadcast the holy name gorgeously all over the world, both in alive through his disciples and recordings,
Yes.
in order to deliver as many souls as possible. The only obstacle so far is people are not doing Sankirtan in the mood of making sure that every jiva can hear the holy name. If they do that, then it becomes glorious.
Yeah. If you really look at it, Srila Prabhupada's writings, letters, conversations, audio recordings, books, if you really study all these things, it's going to take you several lifetimes to even understand, probably a
You
fraction
need to study Prabhupada's writings until you realize that the purpose of reading his writings, as Prabhupada said, is so you'll understand why and how to chant the holy name.
Yeah, and then people waste their time by looking for living guru, and instead of chanting Hare Krishna and reading his books. So they're reading his books and they're looking.
Well, the problem is that the Kanista Adhikari wants a Kanista Adhikari guru.
That's the point. Kanishta
I mean, they got bodies. They want somebody that's got a body like theirs, that was born from a mother's womb like they were, and they want to be able to relate to that person to person, while offering that person deference and accepting blessing from the one they're worshiping. Now, why don't we go on?
Okay, that's the main point. You have just summarized it. Krishna Balaram Swami has not. Okay, we read that part. Andrew Ananda sends a video. A pure devotee only talks based on scriptural evidence. Okay.
What's
And he writes,
video?
yeah, a pure devotee only talks based on spiritual evidence. His divine grace, Maha Mandaleshwara Mahant Sri Krishna Balaram Swami. So I guess they sent a video, which I haven't watched yet.
Do we want to click on the video and see what it does?
Okay, let's do it. Let's see where it goes.
Who is a perfect human being? If you think of a perfect human being,
Can you see?
you mean that person is a
Yeah.
deity. Either she is a female or he is a male. Male, female is only
Is that Krishna Balaram Swami?
matter. Devotee
Yes, this is Krishna Balaram Swami.
He
And you can-
doesn't have luster.
He doesn't have anything. Anyways.
means a surrendered soul to God. And surrender soul
I don't know
What's
why the
happening?
video is pausing. It's something going on here.
Well, it's the way he downloaded it, I suppose.
Okay. He has Corellas in his hand. Did you notice?
Kerala?
Yes.
He's been out gardening.
lives by the instructions of Vedic scriptures. Everybody cannot read all the Vedic scriptures because there is no enough time, there is no enough attention in a person. Modern days, everybody keeps busy materially. So, we have to reach to a person who knows Vedic scriptures. That is called Guru. Guru means he is a pure devotee next to God, via media God, Sakshat Hari, God in a human form. That is called Guru.
When's he going to
means
mention
you
Krishna?
know
Hmm?
He doesn't mention Krishna yet.
Yeah.
That's
He
because
doesn't.
this is a sales pitch.
Bo, you
Oh, no.
recognized the business, Guru business.
Okay, keep playing. Let's see what he says.
Okay, let's continue the Guru business.
knows all the scriptures and he lives by scriptures. He does not talk outside the scriptures. Whatever scriptural rules he follows, only that he talks. Whatever he talks, that has a proof, evidence in the Vedic scriptures. That is called Guru. Guru is a spontaneous devotee. It means we don't need to follow any rules. But without following rules, you cannot live in this world to serve God. You must follow rules. Those devotees who don't follow rules of Vedic scriptures, those devotees who misinterpret the Vedic scriptures, those devotees who think they have gone beyond Vedic scriptures, those devotees who still live in the material body, in the material world, don't follow scriptures. They must follow scriptures. Because even if you have become spontaneous devotee within your mind, that does not mean you qualify all the scriptural injunctions stated to be a pure devotee. Like a lactometer, you put in the milk, it will tell how much water this milk has, how much butter is in the milk, butter fat. Lactometer. The scriptures are lactometers of pure devotee. One who claims to be a pure devotee, that person must fit in the shoes of scriptures, in the mold.
His body language is creepy.
Must. Then
What did you say? It's funny and creepy, this guy?
His
Creepy
body language.
Body language.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Funny and creepy, right.
Well, are we going to finish it up or?
I think we should end it here because, he's making a pitch for himself as a pure devotee, following the scriptures, rules and regulations, and he knows the scriptures better than Srila Prabhupada.
He said that?
I don't like anything about him.
He hasn't said
Bingo.
that, but he's implying that. Can't we see? He's implying that, he's a bona fide guru and he's a liberated soul. And anyone who doesn't follow his version of the scripture or what Prabhupada has said is actually not a bona fide person. And he's canvassing himself, he's canvassing for himself to be a liberated soul, Uttamadakari successor Acharya, right next to Srila Prabhupada. That's basically his position he's trying to convey to others.
Well, next to or above?
Maybe even on above, not next to, above.
Yeah, my instinct tells me what he's trying to do is Prabhupada did the best he could with the people he had, but he didn't have me. I should have been the one writing his books for him and editing instead of for him. But because of that, he got all these creepy people from the West to do it who aren't qualified to even be devotees. And therefore, I'm going to redo it in such a way that it's Pakan, Vrindavan, Brijvasi standard.
Well,
and that means superior to Prabhupada.
Prabhupada didn't want Brajavasi standard. He wanted Vaishnava standard presented to all, the Western.
He wanted it to resonate with the people of the world, the way they can read, the way they can understand, the way they can accept
not
the
Brajavasi.
sublime truth. As long as all the points are there, it doesn't matter how it's worded. The editing is not the important part. The Siddhanta is the important part. And Prabhupada's writing all was pure Siddhanta, and the editing could go this way and that way. It didn't matter. But Krishna Balaram Swami, but this word and that word, that it should be this, it should be that. Therefore, it's not bona fide. No, I think we're exposing him very clearly. Anyway, let's keep going till the end.
Okay. Let me get the screen sharing going on again. Where is it? Okay.
Do you think my comments are to the point?
Yeah, your comments are to the point. Yes, that's that's.
He's such a creep.
Now he's a pure devotee. You can't call him a creep. You can call him a Shri creep or Shri creep, not a creep.
Okay, let me continue the reading. I was referring to your particular
Shri creep Maharaj.
Shri. Okay. Can I continue reading? Yes. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. And when the Prabhu posted this, I was referring to your particular perception regarding this subject matter, which you cannot provide any shastric evidence to indicate that my path following a strictly bona fide guru is incorrect. Shastrically, bona fide guru is incorrect. Nor his divine grace, Krishna Balaram Swami's platform for guiding fallen conditioned souls back to Godhead. Neither can you provide any specific quotes or instructions from Srila Prabhupada that indicate, quote, I am such a great personality that there will be no need to take shastrically prescribed initiation as it is from any other proceeding qualified, physically manifested by Krishna's mercy guru.
He did. That's what the whole thing was about. The July 9th letter is a distraction from the fact the Ritvik thing was going on since 1970. He only let the July 9th letter thing prevail to save the movement from being split into pieces. But anyhow, once that's done, we can go back to what Prabhupada did, first and second initiations done by pujaris or Ritviks. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me click this. You are suggesting that we scrap the Shastric injunction and Parampara tradition based on your whims and interpretations and nothing else. Okay. Then he comments, take the example of Sharadeya Devi Dasi or any of your pseudo god brothers, although followed a great 99 J soul, they were not able to manage to keep from falling back into Maya or breaking Shastric injunction. To consider yourself beyond impropriety or blunder cannot be good for your path, and I humbly suggest you take a long look in the mirror before labeling others as puffed up, especially if you are committing offense against a pure devotee. Okay.
Or did I say anything about puffed up? Did I say anyone was puffed up?
I don't think so.
No.
And the question of pure devotee is what is under discussion, not established fact yet. You can't establish to us that he's a pure devotee if we don't agree.
I'm
He has to
saying,
convince us.
I was telling Rupa Manjari Prabhu just before the call that if they're thinking he's such an exalted acharya, why aren't they at his feet right now? You know? Right?
Exactly.
If he's such an exalted, why are they still aloof? Why?
Well, his last medical exam said he was probably going to live for a few more years, so there's no rush.
So that's the problem, you know. Anyways, let's continue reading. Shreya Prabhu writes, Rupa Manjari Prabhu, please read this. Can you please?
Sure. Okay.
Here we are. Should I go down or?
Can you zoom in on the text and make it bigger, or is
You
it
can do
better
it with your
Yeah.
fingers.
You can
put
do it with the phone,
si-
can you?
Oh,
You
okay,
put
all
the
right.
phone sideways, and you can push it with your fingers and make it bigger.
So I'd
That's what
like
I'm
you to
doing.
think of it this way. Let's say you need a job to earn for your living. When you go to find a job, you are asked for your qualifications. Then let's say you are asked a minimum requirement as a graduation, let's just say a bachelor's degree. And so you think you need a degree to be able to find work. So you enroll in a college and start studying, then attempt your exams. You fail a couple and pass a few, then you take supplementary exams to clear the subjects you failed in. Finally, you clear all the subjects, some with minimum passing marks and some with higher scores. And now you got a certificate. Now there are a few things you need to be clear about. What was the reason you took to studying and clearing the exams? If you answered the need for the job, well, you're right. 2, the other way to this is to see from the understanding of the subjects that you read, which clearly, can you scroll?
Yes. Let me scroll down.
Which clearly makes you confident that you are capable of earning without requiring a qualification. My point is that both kinds of people are capable of working, but how you go about it is the question. Some people accomplish a job by qualification. Some people land a job due to their self-confidence, unless you believe you cannot be. So in context to what we are discussing, I'd like you to do this simple exercise. Number 1, ask yourself if you want to be doing the right thing. If you answered yes, then ask Lord Sri Krishna to put you on the right path, just like how Arjuna surrendered to being his student, and he will guide you, not just some person. Now, how do you get associated to Krishna? By chanting the Maha Mantra. This is a guarantee, and I'm saying it by my personal experience and not going by hearing someone else say so. Number 2, ask yourself, contemplate on the thought about what exactly do you want? A certain living condition, like having a bare minimum for living a smooth life, or some spiritual tasks in which you are disciplined to give up certain habits, told how to be, told what to do at every instance, living robotically or mechanically? Once you know the answers to these 2 questions, asking yourself if you want to be on the right path, and asking yourself, what do you really want? When you get clarity on this, and when you are 100% sure of the answers, you will be even more satisfied of your spiritual path-seeking journey. Can we scroll down?
Yes.
If I have hurt you in any way, kindly forgive me, as I'm only sharing by my personal experience and not blindly believing anything.
Okay. Matthew Medford Prabhu says, this is all good association, Prabhuji. I apologize as I will not be able to complete your request. Number 2, as Krishna has described in Bhagavad Gita 2:62. While contemplating the objects of senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. As far as your request goes, that I am doing. Narayan is actually our god uncle. Hey, God, uncle. Okay. So,
Can you
let's,
scroll?
yes,
Am
then
I a god uncle or a god cousin?
whatever you want, or you can be either God grandfather.
Oh, no, that would mean I was Prabhupada's father.
Okay. Matthew Medford Prabhu says Jai.
If I was god uncle, I would be on the same level as Prabhupada.
Okay. So now we're gonna go to Narayan Prabhu here. Narayan Prabhu, please read your. Um, can you see here?
Although the Kinestadikari
Yes.
or above that.
No, just start whatever you posted. The
The
process you want.
process.
Oh, I don't know where I started.
Right
That
here.
platform?
The process.
Oh, no, I have to go up. I have to scroll it up. Okay. The process you want to embrace is based on your desire to access the Kanista Adhikari platform. That platform, which is based on the everyday assumption that you experience the feeling that you are your body and that you may continue as Kanista Adhikari for many years or lifetimes to gradually let go of your birth after birth conception that you are the present body with some vague expectation that if you will also be a devotee in your next body as well. Although the Kanista Adhikari says, Aham Brahmasmi, I am not this body, I am spirit soul, he lives his life enjoying his body in temple life, marriage, God knows, professionalism, raising a family, etc. All the while thinking and willing that this is me. The person in bodily consciousness cannot identify Aham Brahmasmi, or I do not have a soul, I am the soul, and I have a body. As soon as the initiate can experience that he is the soul and has withdrawn his mind from the objects of the senses, he can then reach the point
Can you
that
scroll?
he is guided as much by Lord Zoroaster. Well, I don't know what that is. Lord Paramatma. That got printed by mistake. Lord Paramatma, as much or more than by his guru, whose job it is to keep watch over his disciple, who is likely to wander away if not watched. The League of 10K is an
Can you scroll?
Istagosthi. What?
I'm
The League
asking
for
to scroll.
10K is an Istagosthi assembly based on speaking from the platform of soul and body. You don't have to move the marker, really. I can read.
Okay.
You can bring your spiritualizations to go see, but not your terms of obedience to your guru. Disciple to guru is absolute obedience to your guru. Istagosthi is based access on your realization as spirit soul, not what you've been taught by your guru, but what you have realized from his teachings. By your own declarations, you obviously do not feel yourselves to be ready for the level of the League of 10K level of Istagosthi, for the League for 10K level of Istagosthi.
Can you scroll?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Matthew Medford saying, you are the one saying, no, you are the one speaking of teachings. I'm merely replying to answer either your questions or false statements about him. The teaching that I have brought up are from all the Gaudiya Madhva Vaishnava Acharyas that I have realized. Please explain why we are not qualified to associate with you all, as this statement does not fit in the definitions of Istagosthi as I understand. Okay, Then
Okay, the answer, I didn't write an answer tonight, or did I?
no, you didn't write anything because that was asked just at 7:46 before our Istagosthi meeting started. So Matthew Prabhu says, what I don't understand is why you are making us out to believe, no, out to be like the false followers of Advaita Acharya that branched off and fell off the bhakti tree by rejecting the gardener Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, accepting only their father Advaita as supreme. As I understand how Krishna described to the gopis to get them to dig Radha Kund, if one accuses an innocent person of committing a sin, then they themselves are due the reaction of that sin. We
Can
have
you
never,
scroll?
yes, we have, okay, let me scroll. We have never rejected Srila Prabhupada, the most glorious position, and Krishna Balaram Swami has helped us understand his glories more than we have, what is it saying, unaided.
As we did unaided.
Oh.
Okay, but he's off in a different dimension. I'm saying that if you are initiated guru, you don't bring your guru into this Istagosthi, you bring your realization into this Istagosthi. Possibly I didn't make that very clear. I don't understand.
Okay, so what we have realized from this League for 10K discussion here, they're pushing Krishna Balaram Swami as the Acharya successor to Srila Prabhupada, and we have talked to Krishna Balaram Swami. We have not come to the point of approving him or disapproving him or anything, but as as we have talked to him on numerous occasions, we have not gotten any substantial proof that he's the next Acharya next to Srila Prabhupada. I haven't definitely. I've talked to him. Narayan Prabhu has also talked to him.
Yeah.
And
nor do we think that any of the ISKCON devotees that became gurus on their own outside of ISKCON or Narayan Maharaj or anybody like that.
right,
Why should we accept Krishna Balaram before accepting Narayan Maharaj?
right. I mean, if you really think about following wise, this Narayan Maharaj has more following than Krishna Balaram Swami, right?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah. So, if
Or at least he had.
yeah, and then so-called disciples of Srila Prabhupada who surrendered to Narayan Maharaj, they're still here, and we haven't seen any prominent disciples of Krishna Balaram Swami.
Right. Since 1977.
Right, since 1977. So, what kind of acharya is he?
Yeah, well, Gorkashodas Swamiji had only one disciple.
Yeah, and look what he did.
Yeah.
He defeated all the Brahmins. He established 108 mutts. He traveled and preached. He sent Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
What else do you want? I mean,
He was the cause of the ISKCON movement.
yeah. So,
But we can't fall into the trap of saying Prabhupada created this kind of movement. This was obviously a 1, 2, 3 project that came from Lord Chaitanya through the Sampradaya, through Dr. Thakur, through the contrarian Gorkashore, through the second generation contrarian Bhaktisiddhanta, to the third generation major contrarian Srila Prabhupada. Just to do what Prabhupada did. Now, you could say it could have gone further, and it could have. If they had elected GBC, it would have gone further.
yes.
But what they need to recognize is it's gone far enough to be successful, because anytime you can take malachas and turn them into kanistadakaris, you're successful. So we'll go back to Radhe. One way or another, It may take some time. If they have to follow their guru in the next life, that could really take some time. If you have a Kanista guru that falls down.
Right. Yes.
Did you see that Chidananda put up a slight posting? A nice one?
I haven't seen that. No. Yes.
It was on the WhatsApp.
What did he post? I'm looking at it now.
You didn't get it?
What did he post?
It was right after the last thing I wrote.
Zoo Munastams and Professional Dil Leon, whatever that means. Pito Vestadilion, he's confused. You confused him, Narayan Prabhu?
With that term?
Yes.
Oh.
You bamboozled him.
I thought I gave him something good before that, no?
That's all he posted. He quoted you. Right here. Let me share the screen.
Well, I had no way to get rid of it. Can you erase things that you posted?
No.
That is why I didn't erase it.
Anyways, so we have discussed the WhatsApp conversation, and if Andrew Ananda Prabhu and Bhakta Matthew are watching, please come join us next time. Next session will be Wednesday. So we have discussed what you have put, and Rupa Manjari Prabhu, you want to say anything before we move on to the next topic?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to make a point that Andrew Ananda Prabhu and Matthew Prabhu, it seems like, they got in contact with Krishna consciousness through Srila Prabhupada. They read his books, and then they met a person who's claiming themselves to be a successor acharya to Srila Prabhupada.
Well, they came in contact through Tamal Krishna's followers in Houston.
No, that's fine. They came through that, but Tamal Krishna's disciples will not recommend Krishna Balaram Swami. I don't think so.
No, they recommend themselves.
They recommend themselves. So I think they were already looking for a living guru, and Prabhupada is that living guru, and they've been misguided. That's basically the bottom line.
Well, they weren't exactly doing that at the beginning. If you remember, Matthew was pretty confused, and it's really weird because he's speaking with such erudite language now, as though he has a degree in philosophy from a university, and Andrew Ananda is speaking more eloquently. Before he was basically babbling, I thought. And now they're speaking clearly. So if that's the only result they got from Krishna Balaram Swami, then it is a success. Turn two babbling idiots into persons who can discuss Shastras with Shastric reference. Now, what I may suspect is that while they're quoting all of this rather esoteric Shastra, it may be that they're listening to Krishna Balaram Swami's lectures and getting that from him.
That's fine.
While pretending to have done their own research. Because how could they go from completely ignorant to big authorities on Chaitanya Charitamrita overnight?
Krishna Balaram Swami is pushing this living guru agenda, so that's why they're getting this. They're getting these arguments from the scripture where if someone doesn't follow the system of initiations, which is living guru initiation, they're not bona fide. So Krishna Balaram Swami is telling them that you need a living guru, and that's the way it has been done. That's how Prabhupada did it.
Yeah, but where's the proof that you need a living guru? In fact, where was the proof that you needed a living guru after Lord Chaitanya?
Yeah,
Why do you need a living guru?
so he can hold your hand. That's like, husband and wife, or son and daughter, or father and son. You can hold your hand, and be like, son, don't cross the road
Well,
right now.
yeah, well, of course, that's more Hindu than it is Vaishnava. Certainly at the time of Lord Chaitanya, it wasn't that cut and dried. The relationships of these pure devotees to one another was far more complicated than anything that exists today. So I question. What I like to say that Prabhupada will be the last initiating acharya for the following of the age of Kali, and I've based that for the rest of the 10,000 years of the age of Kali. I base that on the simple observation: what else can be contributed? Now, Krishna Balaram Swami seems to be a voice from the past, saying, "Oh, you need a 19th century style guru." My question is why? Did not Lord Chaitanya open the storehouse of love of God? What use is having a Diksha guru in the 19th century style of guru when we're living here in the 20th century and the guru has already become manifested through quantities of that India or anywhere else through its entire history could not have imagined to be possible, and recordings and internet and DVDs and CDs and videotapes and online movies. I mean,
Forget the living guru.
there's living guru all over the place. Well, you say the living guru has to be composed of pus, blood, stool, and urine. Why? Where's the indication? If that's the case, then Lord Chaitanya doesn't qualify. Lord Chaitanya manifested his work as sound vibration, not by physical presence. In fact, his physical presence is largely ignored. I think Ramachandra, didn't you say that? That the Hindus largely ignore Lord Chaitanya.
What did you say? The Hindus largely ignore what?
Largely ignore Lord Chaitanya.
Oh yeah. Yes.
What does Lord Chaitanya have to do with their religion? Certainly, the least that they can say is it disrupts it.
Well, not only the Hindus, the other Vaishnava sects also, they ignore Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Is that
you mean the other sampradayas?
Yeah, forget the Hindus. The Hindus are already fallen from anything else. But these other sampradayas, they also ignore, like the Sri Vaishnavas. I've seen them. They're very Paka Brahmanas. They don't pick their nose. They don't do all these things.
They don't what?
They don't pick their nose. They don't do this. They don't do that. They're very clean. They're very, everything according to the scriptures.
Oh, sure. So why they could take initiation as Sri Vaishnavas too?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So even they don't regard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the manifestation of Radha and Krishna as divine moods, ecstatic moods.
Right.
So
one has to really understand things from the core of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, in that Lord Chaitanya didn't just come as an extra avatar. he came to deliver the entire world capable of accepting chanting Hare Krishna.
Right.
The whole thing is we have to be the ones that make the Hare Krishna mantra real and needed in the world. Otherwise, why let anyone know that chanting Hare Krishna is the Yuga Dharma?
The Hare Krishna mantra that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated was only made famous by Srila Prabhupada. No one else did that. I mean, the messenger.
Basically, yeah.
And that is because all credit goes to Srila Prabhupada for manifesting Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's internal desire of spreading it every town and village. So
now we need to find out about Krishna Balaram. Does he chant Prabhupada's melodies or not?
I highly doubt he does.
Yeah, I would highly doubt it also. He probably says that the Vrindavan, but you see, Lord Chaitanya went and contacted the Sri Sampradaya. He went to all the southern temples and was greeted there.
Sri
So the
Rangam.
question is, why didn't they accept him the way they did in Bengal?
Well, they did accept him. Many of the Sri Vaishnavas, when they saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's erudition and his beauty, they accepted him as who he is. So a lot of them do accept him, but a lot of them don't also. According to
But does the core of the Sampradaya means master to disciple who becomes master to disciple who becomes master to disciple. Does that exist in the Sri Sampradaya, that the core of the Sampradaya accepts Lord Chaitanya?
There's two groups of the Sri Vaishnavas. One, according to Yashoda Nandana, they accept Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the other Sampradaya, they do not accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when they were in Sri Rangam at one time in the 1970s, the leader of the Sri Rangam, the biggest Sri Vaishnava temple, their guards never let Yashoda Nandana Prabhu and Guru Kripa and them inside. But when they heard about Srila Prabhupada and they met Yashoda Nandana and Guru Kripa, they had a conversation with them. The Mahant of that Sri Rangam temple, they let them in because they knew, oh, yes, these are Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates and disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So they were able to get darshan of Sri Rangam, the deity at Sri Rangam. So there's a split in the Sri Sampradaya, two groups. One is
What determined that there's two groups?
their Brahmanism mentality. That I'm born in a Brahmin family. These malechers, even though they're initiated, they're following the regulated principle.
No, I'm talking about Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya was not a Malacha.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the two groups of the Sri Vaishnavas. They have, yes, that's what I'm saying. So one of them is caste conscious, meaning that, I'm born in a Brahmin family. The other are more liberal.
So Lord Chaitanya was not born in a Brahmin family.
Well, Lord Chaitanya was born in a Brahmin family. So
why don't they accept him?
Yeah, that's the thing. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born in a Brahmin family, but his associates were, some of them were,
Muslims.
Muslims from different, so-called, Malacha backgrounds, which obviously, if you're a caste Brahmin, that's a red flag. That how can I associate with such low people? So
Got it.
you get what I'm saying? So it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lifestyle of associating with, and raising the lowest people onto the highest platform is not very, very much appreciated by the caste
Brahmins.
Caste Brahmins. Yes.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense.
Like Kanishta Adhikari, we've been talking about the Kanishta Adhikari Brahmins.
Well, the Kanishta Adhikari has to accept anyone who follows the principles.
Yes. Even though, yeah. So that's there in India. I mean, that's
No,
their,
we're descended from Lord Chaitanya, and our Arkanastadikaris can be any race, any culture, any caste, any
back,
Gotra, whatever,
yes,
or no
yes,
Gotra. They can come, no matter who they are, chant Hare Krishna, wear tilak, and surrender to the deity, read from the Gita, chant on their chapa beats, and they can do that.
yes. Joy.
Do you think we wasted our time by doing this class without Matthew and
Nothing's a waste. People are
Yolanda?
watching. Our videos right now are getting hundreds and hundreds of views. So there's no
Really, right now?
right now. Let me see how many people are watching. Right now there are 7 people watching.
17?
Seven.
That's not hundreds and hundreds yet.
No, when the video gets archived, then people watch it. A lot of people watch it after it's archived.
Oh, really? How
Yeah.
many people tend to watch it after it's archived?
Let me see right now. Let me check out our previous videos and how many people have watched it. Let me share the screen 1 second. All right. Rupamanjari Prabhu, how are we looking at time? Is it coming?
We should probably
We
start
got
wrapping it
another
up.
10 minutes, maybe.
Okay. All right. Let me see how much views our videos are getting. So our last video got 85 views, and the previous to that got 188 views, and the previous to that got 197 views, and the
Oh,
previous,
really?
Wow.
yeah. So it is getting watched.
Great. Well, that's very important.
I mean, see, we're doing this because not for us. We're publishing and archiving everything so people can see.
Yeah, right. For the next 9,500 years.
Yes. So
But one thing that's very interesting is if we could sort of tie together the number of people watching with the topics that are being discussed.
yeah,
Like
that's
who, 190 people, 8 people watched which pastime, or which activity, which discussion. You know what I mean? Is it hard to distinguish those things?
no, it's not hard. It's each individual video has its own view count. So if they have a question, they can ask on the video or on the comments, or if they want to participate in the Istagosthi and ask.
Okay.
for
So
the
what
que-
you're saying is it's not easy to see what's a popular topic and what's a less popular topic.
Well, you can go by the views and the title. So some
Okay.
titles
Well,
get
that's your department.
yes.
So far, do you feel that I have stepped outside the bounds of reality in any of the responses I've given to them?
Well, you're never in reality, so that's
Meaning,
meaning that you're not the body. So
my
that's
body's not real. I'm talking spiritually.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's the real reality.
What? Yeah, when I said stepped outside the bounds of reality, what I meant to imply is, did we say anything that with which sensible people would not agree?
That's up to them to decide. If they don't agree, then let them come on Zoom and have a conversation, Istagosthi discussion.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what is your opinion? You feel I'm saying things, generally speaking, that are out of track, off the wall, or that they're on target?
To me, all makes sense, at least to me, because I'm seeing things from an outside perspective, and I'm looking at how ISKCON is stuck and where is stuck and how to unstuck these
So
people.
you think that the discussions we're having and the contributions, I'm just talking about what I'm contributing simply because I want to know what and how to contribute.
Oh yeah,
obviously.
it's
So
very
I
important.
don't want to just voice my opinion. I want to have earth-shattering conclusions that make a difference in the future of this country.
Well, yeah, after talking about the direction of management and the historical analysis of how Prabhupada did multiple things with one letter, 10 things with one letter, where, these types of insights, these ISKCON gurus can never give, this insight.
Yeah. But what about conversations like tonight, when I read from the things I wrote? Are they okay, or just my opinion?
Well, everything makes sense because when we ask questions, we ask them directly. Like, if an Acharya comes, what will they do? What will they give that is not given by Srila Prabhupada? Are they going to write their own books? The books have been written. Are they going to make their own institution? Well, the institution is already there. Well,
Yeah.
what are they going to do?
So what you're saying is you're not just humoring me or tolerating my points of view because I have a strong-minded way of speaking, but you feel that what I'm talking about and how I'm speaking is part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Yeah, no, it is the solution, and if someone else has a better solution, they can come on our
and I'll be glad to learn from them.
Yes. This is. Not only that, we have talked to different ISKCON gurus also, and they themselves are puzzled on how to, they're stuck themselves, right? We've talked to this Nava Yogendra and some other people here. So, Bhaktivikas Swami, also you've seen the videos, his responses, they're all stuck in that mud. So, how are they going to,
So it's our job, it's our duty to unstick them, to pull them out of the mud.
Yeah, yes. If they know about the direction of management, and then, GBC needs to be elected by the temple presidents, and every 3 years they have a meeting, and you can vote them out. All these bogus people who are just, taking up space and holding things and not letting the movement grow will be voted out. So people get.
But until that happens, I've taken a very sharp difference in direction. Where I'm saying ISKCON as it is fine the way it is. It's completely saturated with ridiculous problems, but the main function, which is taking people off the street and teaching them to be vegetarian chanters on beads, worshippers of deities, taking prasadam and following the regulated principles, cannot be argued with.
Yeah, there's no problem with that.
Making a Kanisada out of a malacha is unheard of in the history of the Vedas.
Yeah, but what's next? These Kanishadakaris have been following the regulated principles.
Oh, it can be so much better. Elect the GBC, the movement will explode all over the world.
Yeah, so that's coming
to do that. You have to be able to convince the congregation, maybe convince the gurus, and even convince some of the GBC that they could do far better if they weren't just a gang of cardinals like the Catholic Church determining church policy.
Right. That's what they're doing.
It's not and never was meant to be a church.
Yeah, that's what the GBC is doing. They're coming up with policies like, if someone is, caught as a child molester, they should be reported to the police and, this and that. But they themselves don't offer and follow these policies that they have created. So it's a big scam that they're doing. And that's mundane crime, right? What? Yeah, it's duplicitous.
What about not making the holy name available in every town and village?
Well, they can't do that because they're themselves implicated in these things. So because
they're trying to control, they don't want that liberation or that freedom for everyone.
Yeah, that's it.
It takes freedom. It takes freedom to create the Hare Krishna explosion.
That's it. They don't want to give the individual disciples that freedom or free will to
autonomy.
Yes.
Yeah, which is what we had at the beginning.
Exactly. Get trained up in 6 months. You go open 10 temples in 20 years, or in the 10 years. So the Kanishta Adhikari
No, I
comes
mean,
up.
at this point, with the number of temples we have, if it switched over to the elected GBC system, we would have hundreds of thousands of temples.
Exactly.
Big ones, small ones, good ones, bad ones, but everybody would be chanting and chanting Prabhupada's melodies.
Try.
Otherwise, it turns into Sacramento.
Yeah, Sacramento. No, Los Angeles. Forget Sacramento. Los Angeles is how many?
Oh, no, the reason I say Sacramento is because you have so many different groups. Los Angeles just has one group that doesn't feel good about going to the temple usually. But in Sacramento, you have so many groups, but they're speaking different languages.
Ah, yes, that's it.
Tower Babel or Tower of Providence,
That's the thing. Bir Krishna is coming, so he's gonna speak some language.
Yeah.
He's coming on the 23rd of this month, so we're gonna
Who's
have
coming?
Bir Krishna.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Where is he coming to?
Sacramento.
Yeah, maybe we could get him into a Zoom conversation.
Sure, it'll be my pleasure to have him. I'm sure he's gonna shake.
Okay, it's about that time.
All right.
Okay, Haribol, it's been a pleasure.
Try. So our next meeting will be on Wednesday. Anyone who's watching this on Facebook and YouTube, please join us for our next Istagosthi discussions. Please join our group. It's going to be in the description. Just click on the link and you'll be in the WhatsApp group. Make sure you have WhatsApp installed on your iPhone or computer, and then you can ask your questions. Thank you very much to all the devotees for joining.
Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Haribol.
Haribol.